Well, hello again. We're on my next step on my journey through Star Trek The Next Generation. And this necessary next step is, of course, Code of Honor. And the big issue, of course, is that a lot of people say that this episode is racist, and some people take issue with that, and we all just gotta remember that a lot of people have different definitions for racism. Like the baseline everybody agrees on, what we all agree on is ideological racism, like the brain dead jackasses who put on white robes and burn crosses, or the brain dead jackasses who shave their heads and wear flight jackets and boots. Like ideological racism, that's definitely racism in every possible definition of the word. But beyond that, there's like different things everybody includes on how we define racism. And for some people, like basic prejudice is included in racism, and that's fine. Like, I don't judge anybody for how they define racism. Everybody does it differently. Like prejudice or racist jokes that aren't meant to hurt anybody and are just meant as humor, but people of color who hear them are hurt by them anyway. And there can be big debates on whether that is racism or not, but it's just some people define it that way and some people don't. And then there's like the social justice warrior definition of racism, which is like non-resisting participation in systemic racism, which is like a weird backhanded way of including like 95% of society in the definition, because like these 12-year-old slacktivists want to fight against like harmless, non-violent skinny dudes because they don't have the courage to go against Nazi skinheads or KKK members. So they make a definition of racism that's like 90% of society, so they can just attack everybody. And of course, one thing to include in racism is total fucking cringe tone deafness, which is what this episode is. Brain dead, retarded, stereotypical portrayal of Africans that is just indefensible and stupid as fuck. Like, you watch this episode and you just think any second Eddie Murphy is going to show up to come to America and work at McDonald's. It's so bad. Like, yeah, I'm willing to include this one in my definition of racism as well, because that's fucking cringe tone deaf. Like stereotypical big African king, like from Swaziland, which is now Eswatini. I don't know if that's pronounced properly. Sitting on his throne, with his African hat. I am the king of Africa, and you will bow to my rules. And if you don't bow to my rules, people will fight to the death. Oh God, this is how people viewed Africa in the 19th century. How fucking embarrassing this is on Star Trek! Holy shit! This is on Star Trek. We got like with his African hat, this big black dude. I am the king here in Swaziland, and Eddie Murphy is my son, and he wants to go to America to find true love at a fast food restaurant. How did the studio let this go through us? Yes. So yeah, I'm definitely siding with the people who consider this racist because it's a fucking embarrassment. It's cringe, 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 cringe. And then the king of Africa decides he wants Tasha Yar because he's the king of Africa. And just to backtrack a little bit, there's like a fan theory. I don't know if it's a fan theory. It's like a theory based on what the I think the writer or the director, I don't remember who said it. Like the idea was that the king of Africa and his strong African Swaziland, totally stereotypical, tone deaf, racist king's guards. That this is actually not the whole planet, but that these guys are just the ruling class, and in theory, they rule over like a kingdom of white guys. So it's in theory, like headcanon or fan theory or a fever dream of the writer or director, like that the Africans are the rulers, and there's like lots of white guys on the planet who are like doing all the menial jobs, which would put a different spin of it. But none of that theory is shown in the episode. We just see I am the king of Zamunda. Eddie Murphy is my son. He needs to go to America to find true love in a fast food restaurant. We are stereotypical as fuck and tone deaf as fuck. And that's what we see in the episode. So I don't know what value to put on that particular theory, but you know. Anyway, I was talking about how the king of Swaziland and the most stereotypical ever portrayal of Africans, he decides that the fair white woman Tasha Yar is going to be his new queen. So his current queen needs to fight to the death with her, and we are watching a show that we love for being smart. So it's hard to talk about something so fucking stupid. They are going to have a death match for the favor of the racial stereotype king with a weird boxing glove that looks like the most impractical weapon ever, but it has poison on the nails that are pushed through the boxing glove that looks like a prop from Adam West Bandman. It's so fucking bad. I mean, in the first season, TNG already had a budget. How did they have things that look so fucking god awful, like props from Adam West Batman? Oh, that can't be possible. It's like, oh, we already, because of first run syndication, we already have a budget of 1.5 million per episode. So Let's slide down the bad poles to the bad cave. Pow! Pazing! Oh. This shouldn't be Star Trek: The Next Generation, one of my favorite shows of all time, one of the smartest television shows ever. No! This is so bad. And then they have that fight to the death in that deathmatch arena, which is like a gym, basically. A really badly designed gym with some poles and some laser beams. Yes, and then they fight to the death, and Toshia wins, but Dr. Crusher can revive the Queen of Zamunda, the mother of Eddie Murphy, and because she technically died, didn't we just have that in the latest She-Hulk episode? Like episode 5 or 6, I think episode 6 of She-Hulk, that because she technically died, she's removed from all her legal obligations. Wasn't that like half the plot of She-Hulk episode 6 just recently? That if you're like legally dead, you're suddenly absolved from every legal obligation you ever had. Under which legal system in the universe would that ever work? Like, that was fucking ridiculous in She-Hulk, and of course 25 years before She-Hulk, that was already fucking ridiculous in TNG Code of Honor. How would being legally dead but not being dead absolve you of all your legal obligations? That doesn't make any fucking sense, because you're still alive. You're still fucking alive. So what the fuck does it matter if at one point you were like biologically dead for like 5 minutes? What the fuck would that matter if you are still actually alive? But this is the fucking plot of this episode. It's like fucking She-Hulk episode 6. I think it was 6. Are we on episode 6? I'm going to have to fucking look it up. What episode of She-Hulk we are actually on. I don't fucking remember, like, who actually gives a fuck. I have to look it up. Shit, that's not it. Yeah, episode 6 of She-Hulk. Like, being technically dead for a minute means you're absolved of all your legal obligations. That doesn't make any fucking sense, because you're still fucking alive. You're still alive! You're not dead! That doesn't hold any fucking water. Why? 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 No, what writer can think this is an idea that makes sense? It does. No. No. Anyway, so after the Queen of Zamunda, the mother of Eddie Murphy, was declared legally dead, but wasn't dead, she's now the queen of, like, the king of Zamunda isn't the king anymore, and she's now in power. So she takes the king of Zamunda as her second husband, because she actually had her eye on some other guy, and takes the king of Zamunda as her second husband, as her subordinate, and In summary, this is... I don't know what fucking drugs the writer of this episode was on, and the director and the executive producers in the network, that somehow this fucking complete trash made it on television. It's every humanly imaginable level of fucking terrible and stupid. It's wow. This somehow made it on television for people to watch. There is in Hollywood, in television, there's so much in terms of checks and balances. There's writers, there's script supervisors, there's directors, there's directors of photography, there's the actors themselves, there's the producers, the executive producers, the network executive. All of them have seen this episode and said, this should go on television. Were you all fucking drunk? And if yes, how fucking drunk were you? How many bottles of vodka or whiskey or gin or whatever did you have when you watched this, when you all watched this and said, this should be on television? 2 bottles? 3 bottles? How drunk were you? Yeah. This should not have been on television.